Hey everyone,
Hi,
welcome to TFT, Tarot for Today, Divine Dabblings with
Oberon.
and me, Banshee. Welcome. God, the cards just can't wait to drop. We won't even look at that yet, though. Welcome to this special presentation, our readings for the world and U.S., our predictions for 2022.
We're really excited about that, and we worked kind of hard on organizing a comprehensive reading that could kind of go into a lot of different areas that most of us would want to know about.
So basically, we modified one of the spreads we do for yearly readings. It's a Zodiac or horoscope spread using the houses of the Zodiac, the 12 signs for different aspects of the USA and the world in 2022. It's just going to be a combination reading. We're going to see what stands out.
So, if you know astrology, you know that each house of the zodiac stands for a particular emphasis in your life. It's not necessarily the same thing as what the sign associated with the house is, but it's close enough.
Now, for a reading for an individual, these houses may have more specific connotations than we're giving it, and a little bit different than what we're giving it for the world and U.S. predictions. For example, Cancer. The house of Cancer is usually about the home and family life, things like that. But since this is for the U.S. and the world, and since also Cancer can be the mother, we decided to make the house of Cancer be the environment and Mother Earth.
Mother Earth.
Yes. So there are some tweaks, and you'll see this as we go along.
All right. So
shall we
go.
get started? And we are taping this on the somber occasion of Betty White's passing. So sorry that she has passed and left us at the age of 99. She just seems like she could go on forever. And I want to remember her that way. 2021. Can we just drop the ball now, Mr. O? And be done with 2021. Whew. All right. And Sonny is eagerly on the floor by me trying to figure out how can he disrupt this proceedings. Well, you can't. You stay there.
Sure hope you can.
Yeah. There you go. Shuffle while I entertain Sonny. So for each house of the Zodiac, we're throwing 3 cards to give us a little nuance into, what's going on in the U.S. and the world in these aspects of, our life in 2022. Did I say 2021 before? Good grief. Let it go. So basically, I'm going to start laying them out in a circular pattern, 12 cards going around, and then another on top of that, and another on top of that. And we will read them.
Now I suggest
Sorry. 2. I'm probably not going to have enough room, though. 3. 4. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Uh-oh.
You'll do fine.
10.
Well, maybe.
You know what we didn't talk of, though, was a focus card. Did we want to do a focus card? Yeah. What do you say?
12. Maybe.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Thank you. 12. Oh, so this is the hardest part of it.
Only for people with short arms.
Yes, true.
We thought about dealing them around in the circle, whichever pattern we decided on, because it would randomize the cards more, which we think is important. Our intent is pure to seek these energies or things revealed to us through this method.
All right, do we want a focus card? We'll put it in the middle. Or is that like a final result card? How do we
Let's
want
think of it that way.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. All right, where will we end up? Okay, so let me grab my computer if Sunny will let me. And see, I'm just going to carefully set this here, Mr. O. And Aries is beginnings, initiatives, and innovations that might affect the world. Okay, oh my goodness. So beginnings, initiatives, and innovations. We start with the Five of Pentacles upright. We have the Sun reversed. And we have the Page of Swords reversed. Wow. You know, on one hand, if there were any positive cards that I could see here, I would say that maybe there would be some initiatives to address poverty worldwide, you know, seeing that Five of Pentacles there. But it's not in the greatest position for that, Mr. O, and the Sun and the Page of Swords is there. So I'm beginning to think that maybe the world economy is not going to be in a really good place for a lot of technological innovations and things happening. What do you think?
Well, I think as far as initiatives go, it may be more that just notice is being paid to the plight of those who feel dispossessed.
Okay.
But you're right, I don't see where progress happens here. I sort of see the opposite of that. What are the other aspects of that first house position?
It's just initiatives, innovations,
right. So it seems to me like there's no will to do this at the beginning of the year. We believe this mostly will correspond with that. And I see that clearly from the Page of Swords reversed. There's just sort of a lackluster attempt at maybe making it look artifice like, oh, it's a brand new year, but the sun does not really shine at this point.
It feels like to me that there is a lack here in new out-of-the-box thinking to tackle some of the issues and things that we face as a world, you know, like for example, maybe with climate change, maybe with things that are happening with weather, you know, tackling forest fires, the pandemic. It just seems like things are not looking very positive.
Well, when you also think about the fact that there's a lot of divisiveness in the world, a lot of people who decry this, that, and the other, any progress, any attempts to making progress, that Page of Swords kind of speaks to that to me, not so much in that pure divisiveness, but maybe a snark, a callousness, a tackiness in how people who might be able to help out or might be able to lead responsibly are sort of just being, you know, snarky about it, not really addressing what the issues are.
Well, clearly, I think as far as this goes, Mr. O, it's probably more related to the snarkiness about science, period.
There you go.
And innovation. You know, because it seems like there's a lot of anti-science thought right now. So, all right, let's pull those up and let's go to Taurus. Taurus is about the economy and economic issues. So let's see what we have there. Okay, we have the Three of Swords reversed. Interesting, the Magician upright. And then we have the Ten of Pentacles reversed. I feel like there's an attempt to heal things, that there are tools in place. You know what? Ultimately, let's face it, we have the resources to make things right. You know, there's a lot of wealth in the world right now. There's a lot of wealth that seems to be in the hands of the few. And so healing can occur, but I feel that those who have the means to carry out, you know, the financial, to fix the economy, to fix our financial issues, you know, they may not be that willing to do it. What do you feel?
They're not with us. That Ten of Pentacles talks about foundations, about things that are structures, and this is saying we are not having that. But there is a sense here. What is the major points?
Well, again, it's just economy and economic issues.
So there's something going on with that, but it just doesn't seem to filter down. You know, that whole trickle down thing, you know, you're expecting a foundation to sort of shelter everybody. Maybe there is this kind of sense of that, but it's not really going to all the areas needed. It may be concentrating, which you alluded to earlier.
This is a real tough one for me because, you know, I don't want to be that downbeat, but I almost get the feeling when I see the Magician there, why do I feel like it's almost every man for himself? If you've got the means, you're going to be able to recover. If you've got everything in place, you're going to do all right. You will see some progress. But others, you know, I feel like the global community, because I feel this 10 of Pentacles here might represent like the greater whole of us. We're not healing. We're not doing as well.
Right, and it really should be. That should be the emphasis. The Three of Swords reverse should be that emphasis, but it seems to be literally like the magician stands in the way of that.
There are people that hold the cards here, and they could help, but ultimately, I do feel there's going to be some issues economically in this year ahead.
All right.
Okay, moving on.
Third house.
With the happy show here, Gemini. This is about communication and social media, social interactions. Well, there is Justice reversed. There's Death upright. And there's the Eight of Swords upright. Very interesting mixed bag here, Mr. O. I'll let you start if you want.
Well, we're talking about communications, and I'm wondering if maybe there is some shackling, silencing of news or communications. Maybe there's a transformation going on with some of this stuff. But to me, that card about Justice Reverse seems to indicate that maybe there's an artifice going on with communication, or maybe there's a falsity going on with communication, or maybe it's not balanced the way...
Oh my gosh, it's the balance thing. Is it fair and balanced? I hate to use that term. But is it truly objective, what we're seeing here? And I feel that some people feel that they are being silenced. You know, maybe this is on both sides. We know there's a political spectrum here, so it could be on both sides of the equation that people are feeling that they are silenced. And I feel with Death here, I feel like either maybe this is going to undergo a radical change, or just speaking in terms of the need for change here in the way we are communicating information.
Well, maybe the change is looking towards the idea that there's so many people who need to burst out to break free of the conformity or the restraints that are inhibiting communication. Honest reporting, honest partners. So maybe it is a flow moving that direction, we can hope.
There is always that this can be surfacing. Let's remember that in 2021, there was a reporter in Myanmar who was imprisoned for, you know, speaking out. There is also reporters in Hong Kong who are being arrested right now. So, you know, it can be censorship in that regard. It could be social media doing clampdowns on people speaking out on various issues. There are people that are feeling there is a lack of balance here. And it could be fake news as well.
Well, so far it seems like these things that are being addressed show that the Piscean tentacles, or whatever you want to call them, still have a firm grasp on most of the function of the world.
Well, let's
take
a look at the environment. We've had a rough year in 2021. Let's see what's going on here. Oh my gosh. I start with the Ace of Pentacles reversed.
Oh.
Talk about growth. The Six of Cups is upright. And the Eight of Wands is reversed.
Okay, well, I don't know for sure, but I'm wondering if like maybe nostalgia of some sort, or sort of a sense of looking to the past, being happier, lighter, carefree, will lead us to slow down, to consider our wasteful ways, the wasted energy that we have. And of course, part of that is precipitated, I guess, by the fact that that Ace of Pentacles maybe is talking about some real serious things going on in the natural growth of the world. Like maybe we're going to find out that weather is going to even take fiercer turns, or more environmental, earthly issues may surface.
I'm going to go two ways with this one, because first off, you know, if people haven't figured it out already, this one's a tried and true for whichever way I go. That Six of Cups, you know, is showing that everybody realizes we've had much better times. Weather was so much more different and more predictable, better. We did not have crazy storms and fires to the extent we are seeing now. So I feel that that is a looking back and saying, hey, something is seriously wrong here. And so he's right in saying that maybe this will cause us all to slow down, because we realize with the Ace of Pentacles reversed that things are going south. Things are seriously going south, and it is affecting our economy. It is affecting our agriculture and the way we live. That's one thing. But the other part of this, I have to say it, is I also see that we are not doing what we need to do. We are still living in the past like everything is okay, you know, and it's not. That's where I see the Ace of Pentacles in that here. And this, the Eight of Wands, indicates we're kind of wasting our energy. We keep spinning our wheels and we're not getting to the crux of what we need to do.
Wow.
Okay. But I had to say it. I mean, I could see the other way, but I had to say it because I could see that as well. All right. Let's move on.
I know what I'm going to say at the very end.
All right. Well, you told that thought. So we're on Leo, which is a little bit lighthearteder. Let's hope the cards are. It's about entertainment, recreation, leisure, travel. Let's see what's going on here. All right. Well, look at that. We have the Empress upright. But we have the Tower reversed and the Page of Wands reversed. Goodness.
Well, I do feel that maybe this says that one of the things that as a world community we come to love per fifth house is the world itself. That maybe the love for the world is awakened, the idea that we have to take care of the world. Maybe this is something that will happen through the fifth house energies. And
leisure, entertainment, and travel.
Well, it's things we love.
I feel like, here's what I think. This is unfortunate. And, you know, it might just be because we are in this COVID resurgence right now that the cards have dropped this way. I think that, you know, early on in the year, it's not wise to travel and do world travel. Look at the Tower is reversed here. The Tower is saying, haven't you learned the lessons from the previous COVID resurgence? Travel spreads this virus. You know, the cruise ships have all been, you know, unable to make ports of call because they have COVID cases on board. There are people who are stuck on ships again, and, you know, they're quarantining people. I feel as though and the Page of Wands, it looks as though the travel industry in particular is going to have a tough time recovering early on, at least in this year ahead. I feel the Empress might be the ray of hope here, that as the year goes on, it's possible things might right themselves.
You know, I would have to retract a little bit and say, yeah, I see this in a different way now. And I sort of feel that reversed Page of Wands there is indicating that indeed many things that we take for granted in terms of leisure activities are really fundamentally going to change. And it's probably because we have not learned those lessons. And it is about the world. It is about the world, whether we think the world's getting better or whether we think the world should only be enjoyed by those who have the propensity to enjoy it.
Well, that Empress card is growth and fertility. And I feel that it's sort of saying it will come back. But I would say from the early part of the year, I think our sports venues, as we can see, bowl games have been canceled or postponed. Different things have been happening because we're stuck in this cycle that we can't get out of yet with the pandemic. And it's affecting our entertainment industry. I personally feel this may not be the whole year, but I guess it depends how this pandemic goes. It continues to surprise us.
Maybe the Empress is saying we're caring too much about ourselves and we're sort of self-indulgent, you know, like overcare to the point of, you know, neglecting fundamentals.
Yeah.
And yeah, I often think of her as the world because she's birthing it in a way, but she is the Empress.
Yeah.
6th house.
Uh-oh.
Whoops. Pardon us.
Pardon our housekeeping here. Virgo, let's look at health, healthcare, wellness. We're also combining this because Virgo can be about labor and employment. And they seem to be going hand in hand anyway because the labor force is highly affected by what's going on with the pandemic right now. Well, here's a ray of hope. We have the High Priestess upright. We have the 6 of Wands reversed. We have the 4 of Cups reversed. Okay. Well. Okay, with healthcare, wellness, and labor, I feel there's opportunities here that we may not realize. Right now, we're dwelling on loss. And, you know, in the workforce, for example, it's always about the bottom dollar, you know, one way or another. Can we afford our employees? Can we afford to keep our employees at home? Can we afford to let them recover from the pandemic fully? I feel here people are going to really have to make some gut level decisions on all ends of this. What's best for everybody's health? What's best for the workforce?
Well, all these things combined, and we didn't even mention service, the idea of service attitudes too with Virgo.
That's true.
And so I'm sort of seeing this really weird kind of split here, because maybe the High Priestess represents the wisdom we know deep inside, but maybe this one represents a little bit of common sense, just choosing the right thing that seems to be best there, to have figured it out and to choose it. And so therefore, with that 6 of Wands in the middle, this is saying reverse. This is saying we're going to have maybe varying aspects from that global or collective point of view about how to best handle health things. Some people will say, oh, I don't want the common sense things. Some people will want, you know, more scientific things. There's going to be a lot of, in my opinion, division between the sides of reason.
How do we snatch defeat, you know, how away from this virus and stuff? We have this 6 of Wands here. It seems like everything we try to do has failed. But it hasn't. I mean, we clearly see progress has been made on some levels here. You know, those who we do know that there are some that are getting hospitalized and dying while some are not. And it seems like the death figures have gone down. So we've made some progress. But how do we keep going? We need to seek out opportunities to grow on those victories, because right now, to me, it looks like there's still loss. There's loss in labor right now, and there's loss with healthcare. We are losing a lot of ground. We've lost a lot of people, and we continue to do so. And I think, like I said, right now, because we're drawing these cards in the midst of a big resurgence, and maybe picking up that energy. And I feel that this may be subject to change as the year goes on. I feel maybe this card means that opportunities will be forthcoming. We just have to work our way there.
Right, because I think what is possibly at stake is the loss of wisdom, is the loss of science of some sort.
Very true. Thank you, Mr. O. All right.
7th house.
I'll get that back here. The 7th house is justice and social justice. Let me put these here now because those cards don't matter anymore. Okay. All right. We have the 10 of Swords. The 10 of Swords is reverse. That's a good thing. We also have the page, the 9 of Pentacles, but that's reversed. Wow. And the 4 of Pentacles upright.
Do you want me to go?
Oh boy, go ahead.
Well, maybe social justice is gonna do sort of okay, because I sort of see the 10 of Swords talking about a lot of bad things being reversed or put to bay. So maybe it's saying that from the social justice point of view, a lot of points can be made in this year. But the 9 of Pentacles reversed may indicate that there's a cost to this. And of course, everybody's remembers politicians talking about the grand bargain. Oh, we can't give health care unless we chip away at Social Security or other fundings. There's always this like, oh, we can't afford it. We can always afford the military though. But My point would mostly be saying that maybe along with that idea would be maybe some sort of sense of communalism, getting away from the people who maybe have a certain sense of they're not exactly in the thick of things. They're sort of, this sort of to me speaks to the person who owns an orchard and doesn't have to worry about, things too much because they have value there and they enjoy their life. But it's reversed, and maybe this is saying more sharing needs to happen. This would go along with social justice, of course. If we tell the orchard owner, they have to share their orchard. I don't know. I have a little stickiness about some of this. Too abstract, maybe.
Are you done?
No, I'm not. I'm never done.
My God. All right. Well, listen up. I know there are pentacles here, but we have to take this in regards to the question at hand. Justice, social justice. Isn't it all about money and social rank and status? And so I feel here when I look at these cards, the Ten of Swords is reversed. We're trying to heal these wounds. We're trying to come together. The Nine of Pentacles indicates to me that I think almost every strata of society recognizes there is inequities and injustice in our system. Yet, there are a lot of people here with this Four of Pentacles who refuse to let go of what they really believe things should be. They're kind of afraid to let go of the systems as they are set up. And even though we may realize they are not working to our best benefit, which is what the Nine of Pentacles is about. You have wealth and things around you that maybe are not doing anything for you. And so this system is falling apart. We recognize that. Yet, other people are unwilling to let go and change. But healing, Ten of Swords reversed, must occur.
So it's a mixed bag. Some of this will happen, but there will still be some holdouts, possibly through the year.
I think there will be some progress in some areas, and maybe we've seen glimmers of that with some of the trials we've seen happening towards the end of 2021. So, I think there'll be more, but I don't think it's going to make everybody happy.
Well, another way to look about all this too, with social justice and then the idea of money and spending money, it's going to take money to fix some of these things. And of course, there are people who are against that.
It's true. That is true. All right.
So that was the 7th house. We are on to the 8th house.
On to the 8th. And that is Scorpio.
Scorpio's native home.
This is about major changes, karma, and transformation. 7 of Wands is reversed. Wow. We have 2 sevens in here. The King of Wands is reversed. 7 of Pentacles is upright.
Well, I think that there's a big change coming in terms of what we thought we could stand up for. That maybe some of us are going to say, maybe we shouldn't be fighting that particular battle. It may be a different battle we might feel we have to fight. Maybe we might feel that we have to just sort of take care of ourselves at this point and work on growing things. And maybe a part of it is because we just don't feel we're coming across. We're not expressing messages. We're not magnetic or charismatic enough to impart the truth. And I'm speaking globally, but it sort of seems like I'm talking about people who want change.
I don't know why, but I think this is karma coming back to bite us. There's this karma element to Scorpio. And when I see that 7 of Wands, we no longer, this could be about the U.S. in particular, but let's look at it maybe as the world, because maybe a lot of us now are being humbled, by what the pandemic has done to us, what the environment is doing to us, with so many things happening. I mean, we have fires that make 500 people lose their houses overnight. A storm that can obliterate a city in a moment. And so it's like, this has really been tough, and it's stopping us in our tracks. The King of Wands is kind of arrogantly saying, well, I want to think about this more. I want to, maybe the whole thing is because of our arrogance and our unwillingness to act, we step back from the job we need to do to fix things, that we have lost the upper hand. And I'm talking about the world powers who get together at the G7 summits, World Health Association, all of these things that guys trying to see us through all of this. The climate conference.
When you think about the stages of grief, one of them is bargaining. And a moment ago when you were talking about him, I thought about like, yes, people just want to keep bargaining for time, and we don't have the time.
We don't have it anymore. Right. So I feel like this is saying karma is going to come back to get us because we've stepped back from the job that we need to do. I feel that people are taking their eyes off of it. We've lost the upper ground now, and that's going to be hard to get back. It's going to be hard to get back.
Sevens are energy cards, and we have 2 of them, which means 14, and then 1 and 4 is 5, which is even more energy. So I think this is a real energizing combination here. Let's move on to the ninth house.
Sagittarius is the 9th house, and we've made that world affairs. Let's see what's going on with world affairs. All right. We have the Page of Pentacles upright. We have the 5 of Cups upright.
No, it's
reverse, sorry. And then we have the Lovers upright. That's what I meant to say.
Pretty card, I like that.
So in world affairs, regardless of the fact, it's, it's funny. It seems like maybe money and finances are the things that bring people together. They're trying to figure out how, isn't that the truth though? That's what's bringing it together. New opportunities for money, and we'll make everybody kumbaya, the world powers.
Well, I always think of 2 things make the world go round: money and sex.
Well,
but I don't think that's exactly what I think here. I do feel like maybe from that global point of view, there's a lot of people that want to say, oh, we need to, embrace the world. We need to understand it. We need to introspect there. But then I think a lot of people are saying like, well, it still is really about our choice, our choice to be better or not, our choice to be more into ourselves or more outward for everyone. And so there's a dichotomy there. And then the 5 of Cups reverse does seem to indicate that maybe this is spiraling around and maybe it's moving upward. So maybe it is on a good thing, but it still sort of represents the idea to me that some choices, or people who can make choices, are still key here, and whether they'll make the right choice or not.
Well, frankly, I feel like this combination is probably one of the most positive ones we've had in this reading so far. And so and once it has to revolve around money. And so what I'd like to think here in the world, that perhaps, that because some of the people who have the wealth in the world may find opportunities to use it in a more constructive, positive manner. Maybe they will actually use it, like for example, vaccines. There was this whole problem of getting the vaccines to countries who are poor. So maybe we will find a way to lift up some other places so that, that everything starts to get a little bit more improved. I know I'm kind of fudging that here, but I kind of hope that better, what angels prevail here, the angel on your shoulder, not the other side, prevail here, and that they take the opportunities with some of the wealth that has been accrued to do something positive with it. More positive than sending tourists up into space, something that actually benefits the world.
Virtue being chosen over vice really is what that card means.
And that's what I'm hoping, is maybe there's some good news economically finally for the rest of us.
All right.
But I don't know, we did not get that in the house of Taurus. So, it might take a while for this to unfold in the year ahead, I have a feeling.
So now the 10th house.
Capricorn, politics, society, and government. Capricorn being the house of ambition, we thought would be the perfect one for politics. Well, we have a King of Swords here. Oh my gosh.
Uh-oh.
The Five of Swords.
Too many swords already.
Look at this.
King of Pentacles.
We have two kings. I can't help. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, both of those kings seem to be aspected right.
Godzilla versus Kong.
I think these are two very powerful leaders, and the Five of Swords is between them. Hopefully the conflict will be less brutal, but why do I keep thinking this could be a clash? This could be a war. This could be either a war of words, or this could be a war between two powerhouses.
You know, at the offset, it is that Five of Swords in between that kind of makes you feel that way the most, because that is really about contention and division,
aggression,
and challenges between people. And then you have these two kings. The King of Swords mostly stands for somebody who makes good decisions or who seems to have the side of virtue on him. The King of Pentacles maybe doesn't seem as virtuous, but he definitely has a sense of foundational integrity in terms of material things and security of that. So we could go over a lot of ways to say, well, this one seems more like this country or this person, this one seems like that one. But
you know what else it looks like? It might be indicating a clash between law and wealth.
Ooh, so it's really about internal to countries, not between countries.
It could be. It
to
could
some
be.
degree.
It could be. Wow, this is just such a strange combination. What I would say is that politics worldwide is going to be very contentious this year. And a lot of moneyed interests may be controlling the strings here. And we have to hope that the rule of law in societies prevail.
Yeah, this is about the rule of law versus the rule of influence, perhaps.
Yes! Yes! I like it.
And if that sword was upside down, if that card was upside down, I would say no one's going to win.
I still feel no one may
No one
win
could
here,
win.
but I feel as though the side with the most integrity will win. Hopefully with the five upright. That's what I hope. That maybe integrity will prevail. That's what I'm thinking.
Well then, on to the 11th house.
I dreaded having to read the politics one, the way things are going.
You and me both.
Well, but then again, we're on to the 11th house, which can be just as equally contentious to me. We've decided to make this house the house of social relations, social issues, etc. So let's
Aquarius,
see what we have here.
11th
Aquarius.
house.
Okay, well, we have the Hermit reverse. That's a good sign. I like this.
That sounds like Aquarius in a way. Or
the Two of Cups upright.
okay, I like
but
that.
Then we have the Six of Swords reversed.
Oh no, dear.
And it just seems like it's quite a mixed bag here. But you know what? I think this is a positive sign on one regard.
Sure.
I do. I feel with the Hermit reversed and the Two of Cups up, well, I could go two ways.
Okay.
The Hermit reverse could indicate with the Two of Cups upright that maybe we're going to be freer to be able to get out and meet each other again and start, becoming more social. Again, maybe COVID is going to lighten up as the year goes on and we will be able to move forward. Yes, that's the elephant in the room here, is that there is the Six of Swords reversed. Some people may feel more comfortable not doing that, right? Even when things do become better, because, goodness knows, we've had to get better several times now, and then we'd go out again and it would all fall apart again.
Well, you
That's
know,
one
because
way.
the Hermit sort of talks about that whole introspection thing, we could look at the Six of Swords reversed to and saying that maybe some people will just continue or go back to being a little bit more introspective or a little bit more minding their own business even rather than being involved in everybody else's business. And of course, that could be 11th house too, the social thing too, that maybe some people will say, you know, I just need to find my mates, the people who I can trust and harmonize with, and I just need to just stick with my own for now. So it represents tribalism, but it might represent tribalism with a more of an emphasis on being minding your own business. No? Okay, tribalism is a bad word.
No. Oh, no. I mean, I was going to touch on tribalism in my second interpretation here, because the Hermit reversed can also indicate ego kind of interfering with I feel, and maybe some feelings of, you know, of I'm above the rest. And see, with that combined with the Two of Cups, that indicates a little bit of what you were talking about here. The tribalism element we've all come to see as being very destructive of society today. Everybody is entrenched in their positions. Everybody is divided. And then we have the Six of Swords reversed, which kind of indicates that's going nowhere. So in other words, divided we fail. And the thing is here, we might be encountering another year of this rift between people.
Well, you know, you think about that whole thing about people who don't want to get involved, and that sounds like that too in a way too. It's like not going forward, staying back because you don't want to get involved. You don't want to see what's out there. Challenges could be scary, or moving ahead in more progressive ways could be not what you're interested in.
I don't want to be horribly negative here the whole reading, and if I had to look at this in a positive light, sometimes the Hermit, when it's reversed, indicates that he's coming out of the cave, he's sharing his knowledge with others. So maybe what this is saying is that it is a time for people to come together and dialogue and discuss their knowledge and talk it out so that we can break this logjam finally.
Right, we can't move forward until we understand where we're at now.
Each other. So we need to break up that tribalism and have a more enlightened approach with how we
maybe this was the best reading yet, the best house yet.
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, there's still some ways it could be looked at.
I know, we could have looked at it the other way. I want to go with my final diagnosis.
So now on to the 12th house, Pisces,
which is our fears for the year ahead. Grab
our
it.
Fears.
Watch them all be good cards. All right, let's see. We start with the Knight of Pentacles upright. Well, look at that. And then we have the Four of Wands upright. And then we have the Knight of Swords upright. Two knights.
Well, these could be things that we're afraid of losing, that we're afraid will not happen. You know, the Knight of Pentacles talks about, you know, finding yourself moving towards better economic times or security. The Knight of Swords finds yourself moving towards accomplishment of some sort of an undertaking. And then there's that... Is it a four? Right. It's the Four of Wands.
It's our party card.
It's the official party card. So it could be saying that we're afraid those things will never return to us. The idea of security, of accomplishment, of happiness or enjoyment. That could be what we mostly fear.
Yeah, I see what we mostly fear as being, you know, will we have money? Will we still have jobs? What's the stock market going to do? Will I still have a pension? There's a lot of fear, you know, going forward about the coming or going connected with money and finances. And then on the other side of it, we have the Knight of Swords. Well, we're moving towards something, but are we moving towards making decisions that will help us or hurt us? Are we fearful that the decisions we make will lead to more of the same? Will we ever get to the point where we will feel like celebrating again, that we aren't dreading the new year? You know, that are we fearing that this is going to be more of the same and we will never be able to come together again?
So keep in mind, this is not what we say
It's fears.
is gonna happen. This is what we fear could happen or not happen.
And who can blame everybody at this point? I mean, we are a little bit shell-shocked. So I think 2022, let's hope, is going to be a transition period here. We have one card in the middle, Mr.
Hold on.
O.
Let me switch the cameras for this one. Just gonna reach up here and do that. And we're just gonna...
All right. We have one card in the middle here, Mr. O. And it's reversed.
Temperance reversed.
It's the Temperance card reversed. So basically what I think is there is turbulence this year. There is a bit of turbulence still. We don't have firm footing. My guess will be part of it is because of the COVID pandemic still probably affecting us. My guess is, at the very least, for the first 3 months of this year.
As a collective, we are acting immoderately moving into this year.
Yes.
Some of us are doing far more than what we should be doing. Some of us are possibly doing a lot less than what we should be doing. And so we don't have a balanced view of the year and how to get through the year. We're all either making too many mistakes or not making enough attempts at all.
Right. Again, you know, this could be a lot of the social discohesiveness we're experiencing right now. You know, with everybody hiving off and tribing off, and we're not coming together on these issues. And I think that that's going to be a hallmark still in 2022. We need to find our balance. We need to get back in balance.
Balance issues.
And I think because of COVID, I think partially because of the environment, we are losing our footing. And as in one of the houses indicated, we're losing our upper ground a little bit here because of a lot of the things we are not taking care of that we should be doing the work.
And this is kind of like one of the phrases that I've been noticing for a couple of years now is that due to everything that's going on, systems are not being maintained, systems that provide security or provide any number of things that we need for maintenance of life or ongoing things, whether it's the health systems, whether it's law and order systems, whether it's education systems. All these systems are more or less being compromised or not working as efficiently as they did, and they're not necessarily being addressed.
So what do we recommend at this point? Number one, that you do not take this as gospel truth. This is merely a snapshot in time, and it's subject to change as maybe different factors pop up and change them. But it does give us a guidepost of some of the challenges we may still face in the year ahead. I think they're financial. I think they are physical, and they are definitely environmental from what we saw from the environment card. These are still major issues. And also the ways that we communicate with each other. We need to be part of the solution and not the problem. And the problem is coming together. We need to come together.
Right. You know, we both spent a lot of time doing groups that do consensus process, finding ways to listen to everybody and to find solutions that everybody can work with. That's where our society needs to go on some level, that we need to find the ways we can figure out what the core values are that we do agree on and change those or make them better.
So I wish we had a better report for everybody, and everybody's individual 2022 could be quite different from this. So, you know, this is a point where I'm just going to say you could always purchase a reading from us for your year ahead to find out what it's going to be like for you. Check our website at TFTtarotfortoday.com and see if you want to check out a yearly spread. We'll be happy to do one for you. And so we're going to sign off and wishing you the best, most prosperous, and healthy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to everybody. Blessings to you and yours. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
See you in 2022.